everyone. How do you like my Nubian Galabea? This is the first time I'm actually wearing it since I bought it on a Nile cruise. Too bad you couldn't see my whole body, but I guess you could see my dress. But this is a Nubian style Galabea, and Galabea means dress, but you know in Egypt the guys wear dresses too. But how do you like it? And isn't it awesome? I just think it's so beautiful. But this design is totally Nubian, and the Nubians are the real ancient Egyptians. They are the real Egyptians. In fact, they are the Egyptians who were the first Egyptians ever, and they come from South Egypt in the Aswan area, and below that there's still some areas of the Nile Valley that go down into Africa. But anyway, they are the ancients, and they are the indigenous people. And I could talk to you more about that. Actually, I have a video on the Nubians on my video channel, so you can do a search if you really want to and find out more about that. Anyway, I just I just went through all my Egyptian stuff lately, and I was like, you know what, I've not worn my Galabea, and I really want to because I love it. And I just think this is awesome. But anyway, this is a, what should I say? Rant alert. Total rant alert. I'm warning you. You know, with all the garbage that's been going on lately, and if you've been watching my videos lately, you will see that there's just been kind of a theme going on about standing in your power, about putting yourself first, and things like that. And, you know, yesterday I was upset, as you saw on my video, and I really don't like to put those kind of things on, but, you know, since this is a vlog, it is Cindy real time. And so you're gonna see those days when I'm just feeling like that. And you know what, when I'm crying like that, sometimes I'm sad, but more like yesterday when I cry like that, it's because I'm so damn mad. And I cry when I'm mad, not always when I'm sad. So I had just hit a point where I was just really sick of it. And you know what, I got like this huge insight. And I don't even know how to break this down really. I don't even know how to explain it. So I hope you guys even get it. And I hope I can explain it in less than 20 minutes. But this is the thing. If you are a light worker, and I don't even really like that term. What is a light worker? A light worker is a do-gooder. It's somebody who's spiritual. It's somebody that, you know, works with the light, that works for the bettering of our planet, of our universe. And I guess that's a good word, but I don't know. I don't really, whatever. So light workers have this. People that are spiritual have this. Light workers are typically, even though they can be everyone that does that kind of work, but typically they refer to people that are usually in their, I would say, at this point, mid-40s and up. Okay, so we have the rainbow children who are the younger ones, and then the crystal children, we have the indigos, and then we have the light workers. So I should do a video on that sometime and explain what that is. But the light workers are like my age group. And remember, we could have light workers that are younger and indigos that are older, so it's just not, you know, so, you know, concrete set. There are, you know, people that came ahead of their tribe to start working on things, and you know, nothing's ever, you know, certain. So, you know, it's just in general terms. But in general, light workers, people my age, and I am in my early 50s, you know, it's like this. When we would go to school, or if we had to go to school, we used to go, why do we have to go to school, or why do I have to do that? And if we did that, because our parents really didn't put up with that crap, our parents would say, because you have to. Or your teachers would say, because you have to. Or your spiritual leaders or whoever would basically say, you have to do it because you have to do it. And they wouldn't really even give us a good reason. But we would always go, okay. And it was like we totally just did it without even thinking. It was like no argument. We just did what we were told to do It didn't matter if there was a reason or not, we had to do it. The indigos, for example, who are younger, and many of our children are indigos. So the indigos are normally between the ages, I know the indigos are starting to get older now, so they could be up in their early 40s or 30s down to their 20s. There's some indigos that are younger. But if they said, why do I have to do this? If you just said because you have to, they'd be like, excuse me, that's not a good enough reason, I'm not doing it. You would have to give them a darn good reason to do it, or they aren't doing it. And if they were at school and they had a teacher that was full of crap, they would say, like, this teacher's full of crap, and half the time they wouldn't listen to them, they wouldn't go to the class because it's BS. They have these huge BS detectors that just say, hell no, this person's full of crap, I know it, why am I going to go listen to that? Because it's a bunch of crap. Don't lie to me. It's kind of like that saying, and I said this on my Facebook once, and this is what caused me to shut down my personal page because somebody got completely pushed out of shape with it, and I'm sure there were more. But I said, that saying, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. So it's basically that. Like, don't tell me that this is what it is when I know it's not. I am not going to listen to BS. It doesn't work with me. So that's why we had so many problems with our kids who were indigos with being in school, because they just couldn't hang with teachers that were full of BS. And so that was like a really big deal. It was really hard for them to get through school. And we had to think of other creative ways to make sure they got their education. So that is the difference. So what I'm talking about is like light workers and how we were taught when we were younger. But this is more of a spiritual concept, which we were also taught, and we friggin' believed it. Although I was talking to the universe about it, and I was told, actually, you needed to learn that step. Now things have moved on, and with our ascension and different vibrations, things are new. We've mastered things that now it doesn't really matter that much about these things because we've got to move on to new ones. So this is one of those things. So I want to explain this. In our day, we were told that if people were giving us a hard time, and I was talking about yesterday about a client, okay, and how and I'll just use me as an example because yesterday I talked about this. That when people gave me a hard time, regardless if they were right or wrong, and they were usually wrong, because normally I just do what I say I'm going to do, and I don't play games. I don't try to get over on people. I'm upfront with what is going to go down. I'm very upfront and I'm very honest. So usually if there's a switching thing, it's because they made a switch, okay? So even though it's not right what they are doing, they start giving me such a hard time that their energy is repelling. And the thing I always think of, because what I've always been taught is get rid of that energy out of your space because it's not worth it. You don't need that aggravation in your space. You have other work to do. You have other things to do. You don't want to buy into drama. So just get rid of the problem. Okay? So that might have been like in the past where it was really interesting. I had this healing client, and he came in and he's on disability because he's in complete excruciating pain all over his body. He's just got all kinds of stuff going on. He's just totally in pain. So he came to get some light activation healings from me. And when he came in, you could tell like he was just like, don't touch me, like I'm just like in a bad mood and I feel like crap and everything, right? And he had told me nothing he's done has ever helped. But he had come to a few of the New Living Expos in San Francisco where we used to have our huge booth. And, a couple of years came and he liked what he experienced. So he got some sessions with me and he did the first one. And by the end, he was just like glowing and he was smiling and he was happy and he felt really good just from 45-minute session, completely changed. So he decided to buy the package deal, which is 5 sessions. If you pay for 5 sessions, you get the package deal for less, okay? So fine, he signs up for it, and we schedule the stuff. About 3 days later, I get an email from him, and he is madder than all heck. Pissed off. Why? Because he felt good. And he was mad about that, and he wanted to cancel his sessions. So I don't know if I've told you before, but many times the things that we do, or sometimes when people are ill, it's because it serves them in some way. Okay, and that's why whenever we're going through something that doesn't end, or we're having a sickness, or we're having, some issue that we're not able to get out of, we have to stop and ask ourselves, I wonder how this is serving me. I wonder how this is serving me. Okay, and I could tell you stories about that too with other clients, but we're going to stay on with this. So anyway, he was upset. And why? Because he didn't know how to live without being in that pain. Or maybe it was because he'd have to go to work and not be on disability. Whatever his reasons were, he was pissed because he felt good. And that was mind-boggling to me, totally mind-boggling. But he was being so mean to me, like he was totally furious with me. And I was like, wow, I'm just like doing what you asked me to do. So he's like, I want my money back and blah, 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 blah. So I do have an all sales final on all my stuff. And it's everywhere, all over my website, because you cannot refund services. You cannot refund when I am doing a service if I've done the service. How do I get a refund on my energy and my time? Same with a trip. When you sign up to go on a trip with me, I start coordinating that. I'm putting a lot of time and effort into calling and overseas and working with people over there and coordinating things and this and that and this. And that's all services. You cannot recoup that. It's not a tangible thing. So I put all sales final for a reason, because I cannot recoup that, okay? So anyway, so with this man who was wanting his refund, I was just thinking, you know what? I don't want to argue with this guy. I don't want to deal with this guy. He's really negative. I don't need this in my space. And I said, you know what? And even though it's all sales final and this was not my policy, I said, I just wanted him out of my space. And I said, I am absolutely happy to give you a refund. And I sent him his check. Okay. So that's an example. Like, I've always just gone against my own policy and then just did it to get people out of my space. Okay, and I thought that was the right thing to do because it resolved it, gets that person out of my space and I can move on. But it never really felt good to me, to be honest, because I knew I was going against my integrity and what I clearly have posted. But I kept thinking that's the right thing to do because I just want peace. I just want this person gone so I don't have to even deal with it anymore. But recently I've been going through some other stuff, and I was starting to realize more and more, like, wait a minute, why am I giving into this? Because clearly it is like way too late for this to be happening in this stage of the game. And it's really not fair because now I'm hurting myself and my business, and I set the rules already and they already bought into it, and that is that. And why am I trying to bow down to everybody? Why is it always about me bowing down to everybody? Why? Because I always want to give my best, because I always want to do, to make everybody happy, because I just want, everybody to, be okay, and then it's not shaking in my energy and not messing with my friggin' energy, right? But I was thinking, now this one is not right. This is really not right. And the more I kept thinking about it, and I really think about it, I could just get rid of this out of my space, but this one is really not right. This is really not right. And so it's been, I've been really, talking to my angels, talking to God, what do I do? And it keeps coming back. You've got to, stand in your power and do what's right for you and be in integrity with yourself. And this is what came to me yesterday after I did that video. I have been paying for peace. That's what I've been doing all along. I have friggin' been paying for peace. Why am I paying for peace? Why do I need to pay for my peace? I am not bothering anyone. I am sitting here doing my work. People come to me. People want my services. People want my trips. People want part of me. And I talk to them about what that is. And they have full understanding of what that is. And then they decide they're going to change the rules, even though they knew what those rules were all along. And so I can have peace, I'm going to pay for it? When they came to me, like, I was peaceful before you got here. Now I have to actually pay to have my peace back because you came into my experience. You know what? What the fuck is that? That is a bunch of BS. Seriously, it's a bunch of damn BS. And you know what? We have been taught to do that. We were taught to freaking do that. To just lay down for the sake of peace, to pay people off so they'll get out of your space and so you can have peace. And you know what? It's wrong. It is damn wrong. Whoever taught us that, they were wrong. And we believed it because that's what people our age do. That's what light workers do. They go along with what we are told is the right way. To just do whatever it takes to bring peace into your life. Just do what it takes. But I'm noticing what it's been taking is to pay people off to bring yourself peace when you were peaceful to begin with until they came in to screw with your peace, and then you end up paying them off. After they've been pulling on your chain and draining your energy and energy vampiring you, then you still got to pay them off to have peace. No way. No way in hell. Done. End of story. No more. I am not paying for peace. Now there's something else that I am not paying for damn peace. And neither should you. You don't have to pay to have peace. If you're a peaceful person, you just keep your peace. If somebody comes in to ruin that peace, they are going to pay for it, not me. That is their crap, not mine. Now let me tell you something. Now, it was only because we were willing to pay for that peace that these people were attracted to us to begin with. Now, this is totally on an unconscious level. It's because we had the energy flowing out there that we would pay for peace. And I'll just put it in that way. It's not like, I had a sign up that says, I pay for peace. But that's basically what my energy vibration was putting out, that I would pay for peace. If any, these kind of people that didn't stay in their integrity and keep their word or don't follow along with agreements started shaking the energy up, that I would just pay for peace. Okay, so there's certain people that do that. And so because they do that, I had the energy that matched that energy of what they would like to manifest. So it's totally unconscious, but hopefully they learn about themselves and that they're doing that, I hope. But what happens is, because I was willing to pay for peace, these people attract to me, they engage with me, and then they decide to do their thing out of integrity and, scream and yell and throw their fit. And then, they expect that I'm going to pay for my peace. So it's because I was vibrating that it comes to me. I realize that. So I am changing that because I am no longer paying for peace. No longer. And so this is also something that's so that's just, a done deal, period. And I will not manifest those people around me anymore. And if I do, then I just will have an attorney to deal with it because I'm not dealing with it anymore. I'm not paying for peace, and I'm not going to listen to a bunch of BS emails constantly either. So, next. This is really interesting. In Egypt, they call me Amira. Amira. That means princess. And a lot of my friends that are Egyptian know me by that name, Amira. And when I travel through Egypt, I use that name, Amira. That's the name I use in Egypt. And so, when I was traveling through Egypt at first, I've been taking people there for, 11 or 12 years. So after about the first maybe 2 or 3 years that I was traveling in Egypt, I was hearing from the goddesses and my messages that I have moved from princess status to queen status. I was like, oh man, I like the name Amira. I don't know. Okay, so I'm queen. But I just didn't really feel queen, although I totally love the queens of Egypt. I totally dig Queen Nefertari and Queen Nefertiti. Like, wow, I love those ladies. And I have an essential oil blend of Queen Nefertari that I love to use when I really need to feel that queen energy, because she is the energy of self-love and self-beauty and feminine power. And she tells me so many messages about men and about, being queen-like or being solidly present in your feminine power. And she gives me lots of wonderful guidance and messages. So a lot of times every day when I put on my essential oil, I do it with conscious thought. And, a lot of times I'll pick her because she gives me that energy that I really need that day. So I was thinking about this whole subject about paying for peace and everything. And then this morning I was thinking, wait a minute. You know what? I am definitely going to claim my queen power. That's what I've needed to do all this time. That's what that message meant when they told me I moved to queen status. And what it means is, instead of me bowing down to everyone all the time, that let them bow to me. And I'm not saying people have to bow down to me like, oh, bow to me. But respect me, that I know what I'm doing, that I am wise about the business that I do in my spirituality and what I'm doing, and I have integrity and I know what I'm doing, okay? But it's because I was always so busy bowing down to everybody to make them happy, to do what I could do to make them happy, to pay for peace so they would go away and I'd be happy. I was so busy bowing and bowing and bowing that this is what happened to me, that I had to bow and pay for peace. So this morning I woke up and I said, no way, no way, no how. I went and I put on my Queen Nefertari and I brought her essence within me. And I said, I am claiming my queen status. I am claiming that I no longer bow to anyone, that I have the wisdom, and I have people who are ready to learn from me, that would be excited to hear the wisdom that I have to share, that would never think for a minute to expect me to pay for peace, to get them out of my hair. Like, what kind of person does that? I just won't attract those people anymore. I want people who appreciate me for who I am, for what I know, and what I could teach them and what I can share with them. And people who really come into this knowing that I have something that they want to learn, that they really get excited about, that will do what it takes to work with me. And that one bad apple that comes along just won't come along anymore. They just won't. So apply this to your life. Have you been paying for peace? Wow, that was a huge insight. Because even if it doesn't have to do with money, even if it just has to do with somebody doing something and you needing to just get them out of your space no matter what, you're paying in some way. It doesn't have to be just money. You can be paying with your energy. You can be paying with your emotion. Like, you could feel really bad inside and you're paying for it because you're willing to give them what it takes to get them out of your hair. But you're compromising yourself. You're compromising your own emotions. You're compromising your heart. You're compromising who you are. You're compromising your integrity for the sake of getting these people out of your space and paying for that peace. And money is just a small thing, you know that? When it comes to compromising your emotional state, your mental state, your spiritual state, your integrity, and who you are, at the very soul of who you are, those people are taking advantage of you, of me. We're being taken advantage and it's hurting us. And we are paying for peace to get them the hell out of our space when we didn't invite them in to begin with. They invite themselves in, they create a big deal, They take a part of you. That is an energy vampire. They take a part of you. So money's the smallest thing. The bigger thing is they're taking a part of your emotions, your mental state, your heart, of who you are, of your integrity. And we cannot allow that to happen any longer. We cannot allow it to happen any longer. We do not have to pay for peace. Period. The buck stops here. So sorry, or not. I'm not sorry. That was a rant, and that's also a wrap up for today. And I'll see you all tomorrow.
Get inspired and live your dream. Change your life, set yourself free with Cindy. Yeah, join Cindy. Travel through Egypt, see the blue Nile, Sahara Desert, open up your mind. Have an adventure in the deep Red Sea. Get your dose of spirituality. Get inspired, live your dream. Change your life, set yourself free with Cindy. Yeah, join Cindy. Get inspired and live your dream. Change your life, set yourself free with Cindy. Yeah, join Cindy.